Hey, what's happening, everybody? You already know who it is. It's the world's most dangerous podcast. He said, she said. Kentucky's favorite podcast. He said, she said. You gonna turn it down?
I'm about to.
Okay. So we've been gone for a minute.
Man?
You know what I'm saying? We've been gone for a year. Took a little hiatus. But tonight's topic is going to be about all 2020. But before we get into all of that, what you say, George?
I don't see the share.
You don't see the share button, man? Look, man. Look. There's my share
Excuse
button.
us, it's been a lot going on this pandemic.
Look, boom. Hit the share button right there. Boom.
All right.
But anyways, while we get this shared situation together, I'm going to introduce everybody because we might be new to a few, but old to a lot. We got the first lady of He Said, She Said, the immaculate, the beautiful, the curvaceous, the intelligent, the sexy Miss Chrissy J. Go introduce yourself for the people. Go handle that.
Body okay, no, for real. What's up?
Body yada. And then over here, we got my right hand.
I wasn't finished.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead and do your thing then. Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
You already said my name. Go on.
Yeah, okay. You already said okay. So anyways, and then over here to my left, we got my right hand man, the cool, calm, collective presence of the show. We got Jarvis, aka JT, aka Theodore. Go and introduce yourself, my guy.
What's happening, y'all? Glad to be back. Let's get to it. Let's get it.
Man, so
he's your right hand guy? You didn't say it about me, though.
But I gave you all the beautiful, curvaceous, intelligent.
I didn't get all that.
He didn't get all that. I wasn't gonna call him all that either. But you
didn't say I was your. Okay, I got it. I see what y'all.
My right hand woman right here.
Nah, it's too late.
It's too late. It ain't never too late. It ain't never too late.
Gonna take back and call me beautiful.
So I got my guy over here, the beautiful, curvaceous, intelligent, sexy Jarvis over here, man. But man, like I said, we glad to be back. Jarvis, they said they see you smacking on that gum one time.
That shit good as hell.
So we no longer in the radio station. As you can tell, we got some new digs going on right here. So we're going to kick back, relax. We appreciate everybody taking out their time to kick it with us. So let's get right on into it, man. 2020 has been a year of a lot of negative things. And, to start off the year, it started with Kobe Bryant's death. So we want to talk a little bit about the celebrity deaths in 2020, how it affected you, how it affected us, what death stood out the most to you throughout the whole year, man. Jarvis, so in 2020, man, what deaths affected you the most?
I think probably the two is probably Kobe and Black Panther, Chadwick
Boseman. Okay,
those were probably the two that stuck out to me the most, just because of the type of impact that they had on kind of the world. So so Kobe had the basketball world. Everybody knows Kobe's like the next closest thing to Jordan.
Yep.
For real. But so that was I remember seeing that on TV. That was just crazy, just thinking about I kept saying to myself, like, man, it's like Kobe really gone. Like, I had to keep looking at different news sources. I probably tried to verify about 25 different news sources. And just to see that it was real was shocking. And then Black Panther, of course, the culture, what I'm saying? Black Panther was the culture. So for us to have that superhero that especially kids nowadays could connect with, that was crazy to see him gone. So
do you remember where you was at when you found out about Kobe?
Nah, I don't. I know you probably do though.
I do. I remember exactly when I found out Kobe passed. It was a Sunday when it happened. And I had just came out of the movies. I was seeing Bad Boys 3. And my phone was on vibrate, right? So I wasn't even paying attention to my phone. So I get out the movies and I go use the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom. It's on vibrate. So I get out, man. So I get out and go to the movies. Go to the bathroom. And after the movie, the bathroom was kind of thick. So I'm in the bathroom waiting. So I pull out my phone. I see Kobe passes in the helicopter crash. Yeah. So I break guy etiquette. I tell him to my dude beside me. I was like, "Dog, you see this?" He was like, "Yeah, bro." And like he couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was like you, Jarvis. I was just in shock that it's like Kobe, dog. Out of all people, Kobe. And then, like you said, Chadwick Boseman. I remember where I was at for that. It was a Saturday. It was Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. And I had my kids with me. And I said, Chadwick Boseman passes from colon cancer. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this shit was just crazy. But Chrissy J, you remember where you was at when these celebrity deaths?
Actually, I do. I had went to LA and celebrated my birthday.
That's
Okay.
I think I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was on
Okay.
the way back and I was at the airport. And somebody said, and I just remember distinctly this white girl was on the plane boo-hooing.
Mm.
What is going on? So everybody said they phone, people's talking. I'm just like, man, what? So I'm texting, because people say a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm texting like, hey, did you see? Everybody's like, yeah, I saw it. I was just, I don't know, it just crushed me. Like it really, like, so I'm a Lakers fan already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, gang.
And then I love
gang.
and I love Kobe.
Okay.
So it just, I don't know, it was rough, but I'm gonna say this to say that when he passed away, like it affected the world, the entire world,
Yeah.
to the point where
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever, besides Michael Jackson, I don't think I've seen so many people affected to the
Mhm.
point to where I'm talking about tears everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember that's when the whole Grill Dad thing came out.
Yeah.
And I remember my daughter, my oldest one, she's 26 now, shout out. But her dad is a Kobe fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where it totally changed his relationship with her. And it's crazy the things that change your relationship with your child. That it took for somebody like that, you know what I'm saying, to pass and be like, dang, like, I'm a girl dad too. I really want to, So yeah, so that's definitely memorable. But for me, I think it would be, of course, Kobe, same as Chad, and then Ruth.
Oh
His
yeah,
birth.
yeah.
And yeah, that one. And actually, to be honest, like I told Quentin, and it's sad to say, but I didn't know who she was until the day she passed. And for me, it was just like, dang, like, how did I not know this iconic woman that's done all these things for everybody, And so it made me get up like, I need to get back on my history and stay current on my politics and stuff because I don't know what's going on. So, but yeah, those are probably the three for me.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Jarvis feel the same way. I got emotional about the Kobe death. Like, and I was on the phone with my partner and I was like, bro, I don't know why. Like, I ain't never met Buddy. I ain't got no connection to him or nothing.
Yeah.
And it was like the next couple of days, it was just like really emotional every time I would see some Kobe clips or something. And I'm like, bro, why do I have this emotion because of Kobe passing?
Man, I think what it is for real is like, when you look at someone like Kobe, like we put him on a pedestal, like an epitome of like he's like, it's the man.
Yeah.
Like and then you thinking to yourself, like, damn, if they could take the man, bro, I'm easily.
It's close to the home plate, like you said.
Yeah, it does. So for me, that's how I was kind of looking at it. Like, I was like, man, like, hold on, like, no. It was almost one of those things where you almost you feel like he's invincible. You're like, nah, man, Kobe ain't supposed to be one who goes out.
Yeah.
Like,
and then for his daughter too. That just, that's what really.
That probably, that connection right there, because every emotion in my head was going through, like, I wonder, like, what he did in that time.
He knew.
What he was holding her, like, like what did he say to her? Just all those things. And yeah.
But I think people, whether you know them or not, I think people get emotional because even though it didn't happen this year, last year when Nipsey got killed, I'm talking about, I'm not a big rap person. I like some rap, unless it's like Tupac, Nas, people from back in the day. But I'm talking about, I boo-hoo, cried, sitting in my car, listening to his album and going through listening to it. Remember, I was just like, it's like his spirit came over me. And I'm just sitting there, and I wasn't a big Nipsey fan, but I think I was thinking about him, Lauren, just the person, just hearing how they affected other people's lives. Because even though we don't have to know somebody personally for them to really affect our lives, like some of these people that music has gotten us through breakups, you know what I'm saying, heartaches, like school, whatever it may be, they've helped encourage you to move on. So you don't have to personally know them to feel that, you know what I'm saying, for it to evoke that emotion. So
Cal said, he said, I couldn't even watch all the tributes before games because it was so emotional. I started watching the news and the NBA for about a week because it was so sad. I mean,
I didn't watch it either. I didn't watch
the thing I didn't like though, Jarvis, to piggyback what you were saying, is that for one, the first responders was taking pictures of the crash site and the bodies and stuff. And then I think one person was like showing, the people in the police department the pictures. Like that shit wasn't cool. And then the other thing I absolutely hated was that all these conspiracies. I was Big Pharma who took it. I'm like, bro, like, can we not just like the dude died in the helicopter crash? It is what it is. And then it's all these, Big Pharma, he was coming out with some, and I was like, bro, come on.
Man, y'all forgetting y'all girl though?
Who's that? Who's my girl?
What did Snoop Dogg get in trouble for?
Who's my girl?
What did Snoop get in trouble for?
We called her the B word.
Man, what's her name?
Oh, you talking about Oprah's?
Yeah. Hey, but for real though, the nerve of her to even like ask. I mean, and it.
Yeah, to bring up
Yeah,
what you brought up, to bring light to it.
And even he was like, she came out with an excuse saying that it got interpreted wrong. Well, your tone
right
meant, you know what you meant, you know. And man, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not a huge fan of the B word towards women, but I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of mad that Snoop took it back. He apologized about that.
Now stand on that, bro.
Yeah, you got to stand on it, man.
Stand on that.
Like,
well, I think, you know, just to be what he's saying, he was trying to change his life as far as like even things he's doing. He was like, so just to even refer to a woman like that when he's trying to do things. So I think he doesn't apologize how he felt about it, but maybe the way that he put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be an advocate.
I get that.
To try to be a better person as far as women, but
I get that.
I wouldn't apologize. You said what you said.
I said what I said.
Yeah.
I would have just left it alone, man. But yeah, hey, please comment. Let us know what celebrity deaths affected you the most throughout 2020. For us, it was Chadwick Boseman, Kobe Bryant, and you said Ruth as well.
Yeah.
Also, let's not forget the girl from Babs.
Oh man, Denise, she just passed. I mean,
she just passed 3 days ago.
Was it what was it?
Yeah, Natalie
Reed.
Natalie Reed.
Yeah, she played in the movie Babs.
Naya.
Not yet. The girl from Glee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they found her. What's she?
Big Sean's ex.
Yeah, they
remember that.
It's
But what's crazy is what was it? Chadwick passed from cancer. Alex Trebek, can't forget about him.
Yeah,
he passed from cancer. Natalie Reed, aka Babs, passed from cancer. And Ruth Ginsburg passed from cancer.
So the moral of the story is, man, take care of your body, man.
Yeah,
and if it's any of the hip hop fans, what's his name? Mo from Texas. And,
Big Mo. Oh, you talking about I thought he got
Mo. Was it Mo 3?
Mo 3. Mo 3.
And then what's the other dude that was just now from Chicago?
Oh, I know you because that's where Boosie got shot at. Yeah. I know
you got killed in Atlanta.
Yeah, Boosie got shot there. Benny the Butcher.
What was the
Pop Smoke?
Pop Smoke.
Yeah,
Pop Smoke.
Damn, I forgot the dude that just passed in Chicago.
It's a lot.
Kyle said colon cancer is serious with black folks.
For sure.
Facts.
It definitely is. For me, it's personal because I had an uncle who died from colon cancer. My daughter was 1 or 2, so it's been about 10 years, and I remember to this day. What do you say, King Von?
King Von, that's who it is.
Okay, King Von.
King Von. Yeah.
What's crazy about my uncle is that they're from Manchester, Kentucky, which is about an hour away from here, right? So this Sunday, my dad was like, "Hey, let's just go down there and see him," because my aunt was taking care of him. So we just drove down there, and by this time, cancer had already taken over his body. Like it was just a matter of time at this point. So we get down there, we see him. He's just laid up in the bed. He can hear, he can see, but he can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So I go in there, we'll talk to him, and I kiss him on his forehead, and I say, "I love you, Unc." And he went, which I know what he meant was, "I love you too." Man, come to find out, the very next day he passed. The very next day.
Sometimes they hang on, they know.
And that's what my mom said. My mom was like, he was just hanging on. Not necessarily for me, but to see his brother, my dad. He was like, he was just probably hanging on to see his brother one last time. And then after that, it was it. But yeah, man, colon cancer. But yeah, please go out there, take care of your bodies, take care of yourselves, get all kinds of checkup, prostates and everything else. Jarvis had a prostate exam not too long ago, so man, take care of your body. But anyway, let's talk about something else.
Hey.
What? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about
Nah.
Okay. All right. But anyway, you could be saving a life, Jarvis.
I could be.
So tell them about how they took that.
But I'm gonna start going for real soon.
Yeah, you need to.
I ain't gonna tell everybody how old I am, but I'm getting up close to that age.
Close to it,
so what you trying to say, bro?
My grandfather passed away. For women and men, it's a little different.
Is it?
You're still young, yeah. So,
Rob, y'all still throwing and popping babies at 80.
Yeah, you did. My daddy popped me out when he was 44.
Okay.
Yeah, I just popped
Daddy
me out.
cute.
So, it runs in the family. But yeah, man. COVID has taken over everybody's life in 2020 in some shape, form, or fashion. Whether you've been laid off from work, or your kids with the e-learning. COVID has taken over everybody's life, man, and we won't get everybody. And please comment about how COVID has affected your life, good, bad, or indifferent. But Tina, man, tell us how COVID has affected your life so far in this 2020.
I think one of the biggest things, it's really given me the opportunity to. I know a lot of people, it's had a lot of negative effects on them, and me as well, but it's also given me time for self-reflection.
Yeah.
It actually made me sit down and we definitely.
G said, you gonna air the homie out like that?
That's what it is. It actually, I'm a mover and shaker. Anybody knows me, I'm constantly moving, I'm on the go.
Yeah.
But it actually made me sit my behind down and really take a look at myself, right? And really sit back and think about my life. One of the hardest things for me is, everybody know I just graduated in December, got my bachelor's.
Don't clap it up one time for that.
Yeah, so I got my bachelor's or whatever, and I was on my third interview for this position as a medical equipment sales rep.
Okay.
Killing it. March, third interview, COVID hit. We need to put it on hold. Man, it's been on hold ever since. And for me, that was just something that it was just like, hey, my first job after I got my degree, which for me was going to be a career. So, that hurt. So, I mean, outside of that, COVID, as far as it messes with your mental, we'll talk about that later. But I mean, it definitely has affected people that I know. I myself have already been through it. I had COVID. It's different for everybody else. I was sick, but not hospital sick, but sick enough. And so, I thank God, and I'm thankful that I am here today to be able to even do this, because it could have went a totally different direction.
Yeah. Right, because I definitely told Q, I said, hey, yo, what's up with Tina? She good? You think she really good?
Listen, I don't play no games with it, for real, because I know how I can take other people out. And even just because I was able to fight through it, and my immune system is strong enough to move, doesn't mean the next person is. Yeah. So we're not just responsible for ourselves, but any and everybody else around us. So, I really feel bad for a lot of the small businesses that's affected.
Yeah.
So
what about you, Theodore? How's COVID affected you and your family?
Well, it's made me be a little more cautious. One, because my mom had got diagnosed with cancer, so she had been going through a chemotherapy. So we are trying to really make sure she's not around a lot of people, or leave ourselves unexposed. Guys, she's negative, so we can be like right here. You know what I'm saying? So, and I got the mask right here in case I feel it somewhere in the air. But nah. So for me, I've been a little more cautious. I'm a school teacher as well, so I'm kind of glad that. I don't want to say I'm kind of glad that we're not in school, but it does lessen my exposure to it. I definitely want my kids in person. But I want it to be safe as well. So for me, being a school teacher, it has affected me a lot, having to do instruction online via Zoom, stuff like that. And yeah.
I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later on, as far as like the e-learning and how that's been difficult for you. Have you guys known anybody who's passed from COVID or due from complications from COVID?
One of my best friend's grandmother passed from COVID. I do know that. I mean, nobody like directly, with me has, but my friend's grandmother passed from COVID. And this was kind of early on. So, but I've known, I think since it spreads, it's become one of those things where it's like it touches closer to home, because I don't think there's anybody that doesn't know somebody that has at least had it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 6 degrees of separation.
Probably
not even that far.
I don't know nobody that close.
Yeah,
but I do know somebody
that knows somebody.
Yeah. So
that's it. I've had my sister and her husband have had it. My nephews have had it. My brother has had it. I think that's it as far as like anybody directly. And when they had it, man, I was kind of terrified for real, man, because like you just don't know how everybody, how your body's gonna respond to that. So, man, actually, the mother of my child had it, so I had to take the kid for a little bit, while she quarantined and got herself together. So I've had direct contact, well, not direct contact, but been in direct relation with people who have had it. But luckily, I've never had it. I did get tested. All my stuff came back negative for everything else too as well, including those tests. Well,
but listen, let me tell y'all something. If I've never thought it was important before now, I'll be 42 next month. And I used to take my vitamins and I'm pretty healthy, but not, listen, zinc, oregano, like I'm talking about zinc daily, because it builds up your immune system. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I started taking that really helped me was sea moss. I don't know if you guys, one of my homegirls here makes it. She's the bomb, so y'all can hit me up later in the inbox. Yeah. But I'm telling you, like when I say that really helped boost me back up when I was just feeling down and weak, hey, it's no joke. Take sea moss. Sea moss.
Sea moss. Okay.
Sea moss. Yeah. Like
look at them for a sponsor.
Well, sea moss is like a plant.
Oh, well,
so you break it down. You break it down into like a gel form, and then you can put it in your shakes and different things. They put them in capsules too.
Okay, so sound like you break it down like some other stuff in the kitchen.
Listen, I'm telling you, when my daughter's vegan, she's vegan, like a lot of holistic things and just all natural stuff. So that's the best thing.
Does she do the sea moss? Your daughter, you said? Mm-hmm. I mean, she makes it.
No. My homegirl makes it.
And shout out Q Roberts said, all teachers, he said they need a raise. He salute y'all. They do, man.
Appreciate you.
They do, man. They do need a raise. Quentin had another comment. He said, have y'all seen the homicide has went up from 2019 in most cities? What says it? OD deaths has went up. It is all COVID. I don't know, but something is different. So I guess he's saying the death rise is attributed to COVID, but he feels like it's something else that's out there as well.
It's a lot to be going
on. Martin said, what's the benefits of sea moss?
So it's supposed to help your digestive. It does a lot. I need to really go back into it, but it helps your digestive system. Mm-hmm. Helps open up your nasal passages, your immune system. Like it's supposed to get rid of, help you get rid of like mucus. Mucus that comes from dairy. Y'all shouldn't be eating dairy. I ain't ate dairy in 6 years. It's not good for you. I'm telling you.
Good for you. No. About that chicken.
Listen.
We still got crumbs on the floor.
I didn't eat the cheese sag. Why y'all hating? Listen, so there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things you listen. Yeah, I got hoes. Either or. Shoot, but check it out. Google it. Look it up. It helped me, and I'm talking about after the first time I took it. Mm-hmm. I really felt the difference in my body. Mm-hmm. So again, check it out if you like it or you think it's gonna be good. Hit me up. But I want to go back to what who was it? Q Roberts.
Yeah.
Something he said. Write about teachers. And matter of fact, coming up on a segment that I need to holler at them about, I'll put Jarvis on. There's a gentleman in Atlanta that's a educator, not a teacher, is an educator, and I learned there's a difference. So that's really having petitions and stuff signed for the teachers because they're trying to make them go to school to do testing and, they're just like, this is ridiculous. Like we can't do at home gatherings, people outside, but you want me to go into class with students, 30 students. At a time, you don't know where they've been at, and they don't care about the teachers. I'm sorry to say, it's just my opinion. And I know that some of these students aren't learning online, but what good does it do if you pass? It's not worth your health. So no, and I don't think that it should be in session. So they just did a rally not too long ago, but check him out. His name is I'll type it in.
Yeah, we'll put it in the comments.
But anyway, we're gonna put it on. But it's really a petition. Did you check it out though?
Yeah.
What they're doing. So I think that's major. But nah, man, I don't think it's right that they forcing these teachers to go back to school.
Q Roberts also said black seed oil is great.
Sure is. They're gonna put you on the toilet though.
Gonna put you on the toilet though. Yep. He also said aspirin, it helps the heart a lot. Also, a lot of COVID deaths are heart related. So I don't know if y'all know anything about that. Let's see here. Get somebody. Taquita, she says, I have 3 kids, high school, middle school, and elementary school, and work full time at a local hospital where I'm exposed to COVID every day, and a single mother. So to say COVID has drastically affected my household is an understatement.
Yeah, that's man, I can't tell you as a teacher, man, to without really speaking any names or anything, but to see how it's affected some families over others, because not everybody has a middle school or a high schooler, right? So you may have an elementary kid student who can't stay home by themselves, or in some cases they can't really stay home by themselves, but they do, and so these kids are either not logging on or they logging on from a cell phone or some little tablet, so they can't fully have access to everything that a Chromebook would give you access to, like so. And then on top of that, not even to even touch on just the quality of everybody's internet, with everybody being on the internet at the same time. The bandwidth is just been crazy. So
locked down.
But that's when the government. That's when it comes in time that they should, just like they bail these big companies out.
Yeah.
Why they can't bail the regular American people, everyday people out? That's when the funds should come in.
You don't matter.
Listen, I'm telling you, that's why now everything's flipping. As far as it's opened our eyes, and this is going on to another subject, but we'll go back. This is why I say Donald Trump being in office
Donald Trump
has opened the eyes of so many people. So if it didn't do nothing else besides the racial injustice and everything that came along with it, it made people open their eyes and be like, you know what? Shit ain't right.
Shit ain't right. Shit
not
ain't
just
cool.
Not just stuck on that. My vote don't matter. No, your vote does matter.
No.
And if you didn't think it matters, just watch the last election.
Hey, Jarvis, let me ask you this. I know you can't probably get too in depth or anything, but how do moms or how do parents in general, if you got a child that's in kindergarten or first grade, how do you do e-learning with that? Because they're not able to sit at home and do it themselves. You know what I'm saying? So how would a parent tackle that?
So what I've just kind of seen is I mean, a lot of times the parents are right there close by if they can. The demographics kind of each school is going to kind of change that, right?
Yeah.
Depending on whether a school has a family household where possibly one parent could stay at home and be a stay-at-home parent, and then some other schools, nobody could probably stay home, right?
Yeah.
So there has been cases that I've heard of kindergartners being at home like first, second graders being at home by themselves and trying to get on.
That
Zoom
shit is crazy.
Like that. Yeah. I mean, and it's really, for the most part, most parents are always like pretty close by, especially for like the kindergartners, first graders, second graders, stuff like that. The parents are pretty close by. And then some kids or some parents have taken their kids to like daycares, and then they set up kind of like a virtual thing. And I don't know, maybe they got more funding I assume they're making more money. They got more kids than they typically would at this time. So they hire more people, but it may be like one worker to 5 kids in a learning pod. And then you got to think they internet ain't built for that. So when you got kids there and you try and get on Zoom there, if this kid turn his mic on, he's got 10, 15 other kids somewhere else close by, that it's just so much chaos. Yeah. So it's almost like you like, all right, answer this question. As soon as you turn it on, you hear that noise, you like, hey, all right,
we're going to mute it back.
Type that in the chat box. So
man, let's get some of these comments. Please, everybody who's watching right now, please share this and like this and put this on somebody else's page.
Hey, did y'all see a video of the teacher that farted?
Not gonna tell them about it real quick. Not gonna tell them about it.
I gotta find it. It was a viral video and she had all the kids on mute. And then she farted and everybody just looking around and she says, "Who did that? It's not funny." So somebody was like, "Ma'am, you have everybody on mute." So she farted again. I'm not playing with you guys. It was like, if you notice.
Damn, that's some loud ass farts though.
Hey.
She couldn't like lift up and just like let it seep out a little bit.
Hey, she tried to play it off and didn't know that her mic is the only mic in the zone.
That's just crazy, man. Let's see. Sean says teachers teachers been on strike last 5 years, have been underpaid. They do not care about those who care for the kids. It's cray. That's true. It's true too. Q Roberts, he says COVID has disproportionately the Black community. We have to take it more serious and be more supportive of the shutdown. Are y'all supportive of the shutdown?
Two ways. Yes, I do believe. Go ahead, Jarvis.
I was just go ahead.
I believe that if we would have been shut down from the beginning,
facts,
in the right place, it wouldn't spread. It wouldn't be as bad as to where it is.
We could have kind of
contained it better than what it is now. The thing that hurts for the shutdown is that you allow these big corporations to stay open and continue to make money. And I'm not against that because they got work. They still need to feed their kids. We got essentials that we need to at home, but at the same time, what about the small businesses? You know, you shutting them down. How they gonna eat? How they gonna take care of their family? You know, when some of these companies, I've seen the money that you gave them initially, they did it for social distancing. No, like social distancing. Some of them like bought the shields, but now that they're shut down again, this is LA. Some of these restaurants I know as a family restaurant is about to shut down after like 40 or 50 years because they just cannot afford to stay open. And the government's not helping us, but you bail out all these other companies, these banks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's because those are the ones who contributed to the campaigns and whatnot. So they're gonna make sure they take care of them.
They take care of their own.
Yeah, look, yeah,
take care of their own.
They take care of them. What about you, Jarvis? What's your thoughts on it, man?
I'm just like Chrissy. I say if we would have handled it at the beginning, you know, got it under control, I think we would have been a lot better. Of course, you know, not to get too political, but you know, part of that is kind of the reason, right? Mm-hmm. So, and it's just shocking to me to hear, you know, when he's on the phone call saying he knew about it then and it's serious, but then telling people it's not serious. So, you know, and clearly that man has 70-some million people that follow him and really believe every word he's saying, right?
On to his every word.
So, but for me, like just looking at like COVID in general, I think that COVID has really allowed us to see, in some cases, it makes a lot of us see our true colors and other people's true colors, and also makes me believe that maybe America isn't as great as what it's been said or that people have said to be, and people should see that, right? So depending on what you feel, right? So from our community standpoint, we may look at it and say, we never thought it was that great because we know the history, right? But for other people, it should allow them to look at it and say, all right, come on. Now you're looking at Canada, you're looking at all these other countries that are making sure that, you know, they people's got money. Like ain't nobody, like I seen a little stat the other day and it was talking about, it showed all the countries with the healthcare, people that lost healthcare. And we had like, it may have been 67 million, or it was a crazy number. It was either in the 100,000s or like low millions. I can't remember what it was, but and then to see other countries with 0.0000, like these are people that lost healthcare during a pandemic, which is like,
shit don't make sense.
It don't make sense.
Shit don't
right?
make sense.
This is when everyone should get free healthcare.
Yeah.
So, and then that little stimulus check, that wasn't really nothing but to turn around and put money right back into big corporations who they've already in that stimulus package gave them money to survive, and now we going right back and spending it there. So,
funk ass $1,200, $100 per month. How you gonna take care of somebody on $100 per month? They thought they were really doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Funky ass $1,200. Little funky ass $1,200.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. And then what else are they doing for us?
True. Shit.
What else are they doing for us?
Yeah, as far as we talk about it like as far as
no, I'm just saying like you experience. I mean, like
no.
So you got
but Jarvis got serious. He jumped up in his seat and he was like, he got the fingers going and everything. So man,
man,
you want to keep talking about it, Jarvis? You got excited and everything.
Yeah, something on his mind.
Shit, but let's see. Q Roberts, he said they have PPP loans and grants for small businesses, but a lot of small businesses didn't apply for them. That's why it's over $500 billion left over from the first stimulus package.
But a lot of this information is not made. I guess so much is not available for people to really know. Unless you know somebody that knows and know somebody that knows, then you don't know.
Yeah.
So it's not like they was putting it out there, you know, for really people to really know.
They put some of that $500 billion on these student loans, baby.
Hey,
Joe Biden got you.
I hope so.
Joe Biden got you.
I hope so. I'm gonna go vote in Georgia. Call it Georgia Friday.
Hey, you seen that lawyer that's under investigation right now, right? From Florida.
What happened?
He had a big meeting and told them, go register in Georgia. You can use my brother's address. They filmed it, went live. You can use my brother's address. I'm doing it tomorrow because we not gonna let them win.
Hey, well,
man, what?
We ain't gonna let him win. That's what happened. Q said, what he say? By
shut down, you want to come over and be a guest or what?
By shut down amongst us, we have to chill with the clubbing, large gatherings, etc. I saw it all summer, people having block parties. So that goes back to what he was talking about earlier about as far as people not taking it serious. And that's because a lot of people think it's a conspiracy. It ain't real. It ain't never real until it affects somebody that you know, and then they pass away. Then it's we need to start wearing masks and whoop whoop. Well, shit, if y'all start wearing, like, I get it. Nobody really wants to walk around with their motherfucking mask on all day or whatever the case may be. But for
that's gonna save your life.
Not even that. If it's gonna save somebody else's life as well, you know what I'm saying? I might be okay, but that 65-year-old lady who's walking in Kroger's, she might not be okay.
But it ain't even about older people anymore.
Yeah,
Younger people are dying from anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that was the stigma that when it first came out, people didn't know what was going on with it. So they just thought, oh, I'm healthy, I'm straight, you know. And then of course they threw in the whole thing, well, more people die of flu, so it ain't that bad. Man, we're not talking about the flu, and the ratio is not the same. So they can't say that.
It ain't same. Yeah, like, but one thing I would wish, who says, he said, y'all not 6 feet apart though. Don't worry about that. Who's that? Michelle Miles. Don't worry about what we are. We were good, baby. We got a class.
We already been tested.
We got to test what she just said.
We good.
And let's see.
Man, with that whole, like, just the whole, like,
don't speak on it, dog. Go and let it out.
Man, just not taking it serious from the get-go is what really killed us, man. And that's why, like I say, even to this day, when somebody's like, I see somebody post on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, like, I used to think, or, you know, see a news article, I used to think it wasn't real, but then I had, like, bruh, and I say this with so much respect, like, listen, I have empathy for you being sick, but I don't have any sympathy if you was out playing around and just, I have empathy for you being sick, and I don't want anything serious to happen, but I don't have any sympathy at all.
But the problem is, Jarvis, is that people are ignorant, and I don't say that to be derogatory or mean, just meaning that they really just ignorant to what was going on and don't understand. You know what I'm saying? They didn't understand how serious. So somebody can say something, it's like, oh man, it ain't that serious, until it starts hitting close to home. And that's with anything. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't really take stuff seriously until it affects them. That's when things change.
Not even the ignorant, they just don't care.
Well,
it's not even that they ignorant, because ignorant is just not, you know, being informed and you just don't know. They just don't even care. I think they do know, they just don't even care.
Yeah.
If they catch it, they catch it. That's what a lot of people's mindset is. If I catch it, I catch it. If I don't, I don't. I'm still gonna go out here and do woo woo.
See, if I hear somebody say that though, I'll be like, you know what? To each his own, bro. Like you know it's real. You know the consequences, right? If that's the case, because I've heard plenty of people saying, I've always just wanted to know, like, you know, but I still think that they're speaking from a selfish point of view.
Yeah.
So when people are like, you know, I know it's real, but I'm not going to live my life in fear. Yeah. You know, I can die doing this, doing that. That's fine. But it's on your head. Yeah. It's on your conscience if you kill your mama and daddy from it.
Then you got to deal with that, because if I just wore a mask, I don't know where I got it from. You don't know because you was out here, there, and everywhere.
The only sad part about it is I don't know the person personally, but it came from a situation where this lady, because she works at a hospital, chose not to go visit, you know, her family, her parents during the whole pandemic, trying to stay safe. And then her dad ends up passing away. And it was like, here I tried to, you know what I'm saying, keep it away from him. And then he left this earth without me being able to really even be around him again. So it's so many different things. And it just, if everybody's just responsible, and I think for anybody, including myself a little bit this summer, I always wear my mask, but I think we got a little lackadaisical.
We did.
As far as things started opening up, people was tired of being in the house. And it was just like, well, shoot, you know, okay. Yeah. We just out, you know what I'm saying, around our amongst our people, our friends, whatever, not know who they've been around and who they've been around, and then just so on and so on.
And then, you know, to piggyback off of what y'all was saying, which I completely fucking forgot, so I'll just go to Q's comment real quick. Q said, my bad about the comment, but this is a good subject. A lot of podcasts amongst have ignored. They're worried about the Jeezy and Gucci battle. Yeah, we'll get to the Jeezy and Gucci battle another day. But yeah, this subject, man, is very serious because it affects. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. When you do have somebody who catches it and they go to the hospital, you might not even be able to go see them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're only letting one person, and that one person has to be an immediate family member, and it's like it's so crazy.
But when they in the room and they pass, they can't even be in the room with them. They die alone.
Yeah.
So that's what, man. I don't know if anybody watches The Good Doctor, but I watched it and I was toe up.
You was toe up.
Man, what? They showing videos of people and they got to cry through the iPhone, FaceTime. This is real life. This is what they was doing, saying their goodbyes, and then they take them off the ventilator and
Nah, like you got to stick with that moment for the rest of your life. That I couldn't be in the room with my loved one. I was on the fucking phone with FaceTime as they like.
Yeah.
You got to live
Funerals,
with.
you can't even bury them properly the
You
way
gotta-
that you want to. None of that.
Like this shit is crazy. Michelle Miles, let's get to her comment. She said, "Problem is you don't know exactly how it will affect you once you catch it."
Y'all know who Michelle is, right?
Who's that?
Hunger. Yeah,
Who's
my
that?
best friend. Yeah, that Michelle.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you the crazy part. I'm gonna tell you the crazy part. Aside from the potential of dying.
Yeah.
Bruh, I'm so terrified to lose my sense of taste. Bruh,
I
I
don't-
love food.
So I don't have
I am so terrified. Like, hold on, bro, I ain't gonna be able to taste my food.
Mine ain't came back.
You still can't taste nothing?
Mm-mm. I can kind of taste something sweet or sour, but I can't taste it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I'm with you, Jarvis, man. I don't know about that taste, man. I like to eat cat. So Michelle Miles, she said our girl Iris, is that how you say her name? Can't see her father because he's going through chemo. That's rough.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
So he must be impatient.
That's rough though.
Yeah, going in and out. He can't afford to be in and out of that. So
Yeah, because even like when my mom goes through and does her chemotherapy, like my dad can't even go in at all. Like he has to just leave and come back and get her. And at one time she had a little bit of not really complications, but her temperature spiked a little bit, so we had to take her to the ER. And I mean, it was like tooth and nails trying to just get my dad to stay overnight with her. So they eventually ended up letting him, we kind of used a little bypass, said that, my mom being Korean, we like, my dad communicates fine.
He's an interpreter.
Yeah.
I got you. Got you, little loophole. To pick the facility that I work at, when I go to the ER, they make people wait in the car if you bring somebody with you. Like you can't even have nobody in the emergency room with you. They have to take you to the station where they get your temperature stuff, and then they got to go back to the car. And I'm like, dog,
they're trying to lessen.
Like, it's just so crazy. But
and see, Michelle lives in LA where everything's shut down right now. Everything is shut down right now.
We need to be we're sure it's about to open everything back up, but I was gonna say we should be right behind them for real. Shut this shit down. Yeah. I mean, it's about to be Christmas break anyway.
Yeah, I don't even know why they open.
It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's about to be Christmas break, so majority of the kids are gonna be out from school anyway. So why not just go ahead and shut everything down for 2 weeks as best as you can? So the start of the year, we can start to try to take.
Man, shut down. Did y'all know the City Gear is gonna be open on Christmas Day?
Who?
City Gear and Hibbits, the old Hibbits. Hey, man, they trying to get their money.
Man, do what you got.
Are they really though?
That's serious.
That's crazy. But anyways, man, a lot of people, like she said, been having cabin fever, locked up in the house all day with either your significant other, your kids, or maybe even just by yourself. So for people out there who are dealing with anxiety, depression, how's your mental health being during this whole pandemic and everything like that? Chrissy J, how's your mental health being during this whole COVID, 2020 pandemic joint?
Hey, listen, COVID has really checked me on my mental health. I've spoke to on before. If you guys have followed our show, Quentin and I've even spoken. I've dealt with depression, in past years of my life, but it had been a while. I've been cool, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's because I stay so busy and I'm moving and I'm shaking to where you just be so busy, you just let things just fall off. It's like whatever. It's like I'm too busy to even deal with what I got to go through. But once COVID hit and you sitting there and everything's coming and you sitting back, you ain't got nothing but time for self-reflection.
You ain't got nothing to do but to sit still.
And I think that's why some people move like they do, so they don't have to be by themselves. Because when you by yourself, and I don't mean not having somebody else in the room, I'm just saying by yourself, and you really have to sit back and think about things, it hits hard. And for me, it hit hard. I'm talking about, I signed off of social media back in March, and I just got back on now for he said, she said, because it was just too much, for me and my mental. And what it taught me was it's okay for me to say no. And I'm always anything I can do, yes type person, and just being around people. I'm always that one. It's like, oh, Christina, whatever. I mean, I love doing for other people. That's me. But it made me be like, you know what? If this person's mad because I'm not talking to them, because I ain't talking to nobody, they just gonna have to be mad because I got to put me first. And I had to try to tell some of my friends, it ain't about you right now. Yeah. It's about me. I'm not mad at nobody, but I need this break so I can get me together and get me in check and figure out what I'm doing. I've never had anxiety until this year. I've never experienced anxiety. And since then, which I don't have a problem, everybody's got to do what they got to do. Like, actually, I went to my doctor and had to get medication for it because I'm like, this ain't me. Medication won't work and I was a different person. I said, here, let me get this together. And you got to be able to know your norm. So it really did affect me. Like, I'm talking about, like, it touched home. It's hard. And then when you're getting on top of that, even coming in now with seasonal depression, and we are meant to, as a people, interact with other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I've never been an introvert. I've always been an extrovert. Like, I like being around people and doing stuff. And when you don't have that, it makes it even harder. So you just got to make sure that you keep your mental in check. That's got to be just as important as you do with your physical or anything else. And it was rough. It's been a rough year, but
to say the least.
Yeah, but it could have been worse.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that I'm here. I'm happy that I know what it feels like to be down to the bare bottom, and I don't want to be that way. So I know I'm grateful that I can, for myself, recognize when I'm getting there and take the proper steps to get myself back up to where I need to be. I know a lot of people was asking you, everybody else, shit, they'll tell you how long ago? I ain't talked to Jarvis since March.
I texted and everything, checking on it, but
Yeah.
I had my phone on do not disturb. I'm talking about some of my best friends I wasn't talking to. Nobody knew what was going on because I just kind of went in this, whatever you want to call sunken place or whatever, just to the point where I just did not want to be bothered. And I just had things going on and just trying to figure out my life, what direction it's going to go, just things that you don't normally think about that hit you. Is just like, man, I'm about to be 42. Like, what I'm about to do, it's just so much, and on top of, I'm a mother. I have children. They go through things, so not only you fighting your battle for yourself, but you still have that battle that you're fighting for your children as well, whether they're adults or not. You never stop being a parent.
Yeah.
You never stop worrying. So, yeah. So I advise anybody who's going anything, man, don't listen to what nobody say. If you need help, seek help. Like, don't allow people to, make you feel bad for feeling the way that you do. And I'm so grateful that now it's more awareness of mental health. And it's not deemed as being crazy, or whatever. It's really like, it's a sickness that people need to go, just like you have anything else that you go to the doctor for. So I'm thankful to be back. I was excited to come back. I need to be around people. That's me. And it's just what we do. So what about you, Q?
Man, I'm gonna get to some of these stats from my esteemed researcher, Chrissy J. She pulled up these stats here. The rate of increase in depression among children is 23%. 41% of depressed women are too embarrassed to seek help, which is what you was alluding to. 80% of depressed people are not currently receiving any treatment. An estimated 15% of depressed people commit suicide. That's crazy. 2020 depression will be the second largest killer after heart disease. Furthermore, studies indicate that depression is a contributing factor to fatal coronary disease. Man. And then one more thing. Preschoolers represent the fastest growing market for antidepressants. At least 4% of preschoolers, more than 1 million, are clinically depressed. Like, the whole preschoolers and kids being depressed, I can see it because bullying has become so prevalent now, because now it's not only at the school or in your neighborhood, but now it's online. You know what I'm saying? You ain't pretty enough, or you fat, or you this,
then
or
it
you
goes
that.
viral.
And then it goes viral. And then it's like, as a parent, you can only do so much to try to protect your child from bullying, but they're going to listen to what they say more than what you say.
Because you're the parent.
Because you're the parent, and for whatever reason, whatever other people say holds more weight and more merit than what a parent actually says. And it's frustrating. It's hard. Not that my kids have went through it, but it would just be frustrating and hard to try to help your child protect them from what others are saying to them, to the point where they want to kill themselves because somebody said they weren't cute, or the boy in school said you was too fat, or somebody online said, "Oh, you a dark skinned girl with short hair." Like it's just so crazy. So I can believe that part. But to piggyback off of for Chrissy's, man, yeah, depression, like it hit me real hard 2020 as well. And it's something that you have to continuously fight. When I talk to people about this, they ask me, how do you deal with it? I don't even tell them daily. I say depression is an hour by hour thing.
Yeah.
I said you could wake up feeling like $1,000,000, ready to attack the world at 7:00, and by 8:30, you are at the lowest of lows for no damn reason.
And that's the thing about it. You don't always know. People be like, "What's wrong?" There's not to be a particular reason.
There's nothing that sometimes there are triggers, but a lot of times there's nothing that triggered it. You could just be driving. I'm just telling you a personal story for me. Just from the time I leave the house, I'm getting goosebumps, but from the time I leave the house to the time I got to work, my whole demeanor has changed for no reason.
Yeah.
And people don't understand it. And also, what we have to do as a Black community is stop telling people, "Oh, you'll just be all right. You'll be okay." Like,
and stop ridiculing.
And that's what makes a lot of people so afraid to come out and tell people, because a lot of people think depression is just a feeling. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
You just broke. Okay, yeah, you cool. You be all right, man. I just smoked a blunt. I just drank. You'll be all right. And it's like, no, bro. Like, they don't understand. Something is chemically imbalanced in your brain to prevent you from achieving happiness or a consistent happiness on a daily basis. So what we have to do is a better job of trying to console people, because I tell people a lot of times, it might not be anything you can do for me, but just let me vent.
Right.
Just listen to me. Let me just get it off my chest. You might not be able to fix that nerve problem that I got, but just let me just get this off my chest. And so for Black men in general, we have to stop trying to be so like, bravado and like, "Oh man, I ain't telling this nigga my feelings, dog." I got a homeboy named Fats, my dude in Columbus, right?
Yeah.
He's my go-to dude, right? So I'll be like, "Man, look, woo, this is what's bothering me," and he'll do the same thing. Like, he'll open up and be like, "Man, look,
you gotta have
my kids is this, and my girl is this. I just lost my job." So we at least know that we have one other man, because you can have a wife, but there's times you want to talk to your homeboy and be like, "Man, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. The rent's, she just whoop," and you need that guy friend sometimes to just be able to open up and talk to and feel comfortable with doing it. And if you feel comfortable enough, tell your partner you love him. "Hey, dog, I'll holler at you, man. I love you, bro."
But you gotta say, you can't just say "I love you." You gotta say "I love you, bro."
I was gonna say, that's why I said I love you, bro.
Yeah,
like, you gotta add something. You can't just be like, "Hey, I love you." Like, that's awkward in here. Like, "Hey, Jarvis, I love you." Now you be like, "Hey, Jarvis, bro, I love you, man." And just and you know what I'm saying. But back to the depression thing, man. It's really affected me in 2020. Like she said, I fight every day with it. You know what I'm saying? Some days are better than others. Some weeks are better than others. Some months are better than others. But like she said, when you have something that can try to take you away from whatever is dragging you down for an hour, it works like you can't put a word to describe what it does for your psyche to get away from something that's bothering you just for a little amount of time. But that's just my little spiel. But
I mean, give the people some things help. And I'm gonna tell y'all, for me, self-affirmations help me. I mean, I know sometimes I wake up and I'm just crying for no reason, and I just tell myself, and I know it's not that easy for everybody, but these are just some of the small things that help me outside of, what I'm doing as far as health-wise and medication or whatever. But I tell myself, you know what? Don't do this. Don't cry. We're gonna have a good day today. Like Christina, I'm talking to myself. I'm hyping myself up. And there's been days where I've done that, and it has changed my whole outlook on the rest of the day.
You got to do that sometimes.
Just not to think negatively. You know what I'm saying? Just to tell myself, I don't want to do this. I don't want to feel like this. And another big thing is being able to tell people, when you need your time and you need your space, you need your time and you need your space. You have to be able to be okay with just taking that time. Sometimes we want to just be there for everybody and be that person that's just like, okay, well, I don't want them to be mad. Man, I no longer care when somebody's upset or mad. I'm telling you, some things have changed. Like, and it's experiences that I've gone through, even in this last year, just trying to even be a better person, and then outside of course, obviously prayer, for me, as a Christian, like I ain't perfect by no means. Don't claim to be, you know what I'm saying? But I'm always going to go seek God, when I need help.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of times, especially with this, I mean, every time, not a lot of times, every time I need his help.
Yep.
You know, so I don't know. I mean, even on the next one, one of the biggest things that for real is just the whole violence, just police brutality.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Is what has made me even more.
Triggered
It triggered me more.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying when it comes to that. So
Man, back to Andrea Pinky's comment. Shout out to Pinky. What a crime! What was it? What's the podcast? What a crime to behold.
Yep.
Is that what it's called? What a crime to be alive. What a crime to be alive. Shout out if you like crime podcasts, go check that out. But yeah, she said stop telling people all they need to do is pray. Yeah, you can't give that suggestion and let it be the only suggestion.
yeah.
Like, oh, you be just pray about it, you know.
No.
And it's like, nah,
It's
bro,
deeper than
like it is. It's a lot deeper than just going in a room and praying. But for me, like she said, you got to be okay with getting away from everybody.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And if somebody told me, who does the shrimp talk to?
Yeah.
If you helping everybody else, who helps you?
That's why they got their own.
Because you taking
Taking out
everybody.
so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, and it's draining and exhausting, and sometimes you don't even know because you're just so used to doing it and accustomed to doing it that okay, let me put what's going on with you. For real, okay, well, and then you deal with your shit whenever you deal with it, and it drains you so much, and then when you sit in the bed or on the couch, that shit just comes and it just hits you, and it's like, man, for me, I just be 100. Mine's is in the shower, right?
Yeah. Crying. I cry hard
I
in
can
the
say
shower.
I let it out because
Picture that, man. Come on, man.
well,
I cry
that
hard
wasn't for
in the
you. That wasn't for you. But yeah, man, because you know you in the shower, you can let the snot bubbles come out and all that. And if you get out the shower and somebody asks you what's wrong, like, no, I just got soap in my eye. So then
But do you find yourself, does this, when I distance myself from people, it's not always just because I don't want to be around them, but I know that I got so much going on. I don't always want to put my problems on other people and feel like every time they talk to me, I got something going on.
Yep.
So for me, I've done that, not just for me, but just for them as well. Like, you can't put all your everything on people all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got your different go-tos, but you got to think that affects other people.
Yeah.
When you put your problems on them and they love you and they care about you, it's a lot and it's draining.
It is.
So I've learned to step back from that. Like when I'm going through some things, it's like, you know what, y'all, I need a break. Now, one of my best friends, she tells me, hey, man, Monday morning check-ins. Just check in with me every morning.
I like that.
And shout out to Karina.
I like
With
that.
me and you will check in, just so I know you good. If I ain't heard from you, I'm gonna hit you up. And if it's nothing more than a text, hey, I'm good. And so there's different things that you can do. But yeah, that's one thing that, you know, I got going on.
But what about you?
The one thing I would also say too, just to kind of piggyback in, you know, just to kind of piggyback off them. So in 2020, you know, I started seeing a therapist too, you know, just for a variety of different, you know, things that have affected me and, you know, for my mental. But I also just want to kind of touch on if you're a parent. So as a parent, right, you like we have to listen to our kids, and then we can't, you know, because the more and more we disregard what our kids' feelings are and how they feel, or like you said, trying to make, you know, if we have a son, trying to toughen his son up so hard to where he has a shell that he doesn't want to express himself, things like that. Then you get grown adults who, you know, then they turn into grown adults who don't know how to handle,
don't know how to express themselves.
Don't know how to express themselves. So, you know, your kid's not too young to get them a therapist as well, right? So some kids may need therapy as well.
My daughter does.
So, you know, for all the parents out there, I would just say, please, if your kid, you know, and your kid may not have the words to come out and say, I need help, but just be mindful, pay attention to telltale signs. Yeah. And when you see it, you know, don't ignore them, because that's what could lead to a suicide from somebody, you know, talking to them this way or that way. You know, we have to be in tune with our kids, really, to make sure that they get the help so they can be, you know, adults that know how to handle their situation.
We don't live in eras anymore with the grandmas where they be like, girl, you don't know what depressed means.
Yeah.
You don't got no nerves.
You depressed about.
You ain't got no bills. You ain't got this. You don't got that. You know, I mean, that was their thought process.
Yeah.
Man, I
no longer
see
living
and
it.
hear so much more now.
Because it's all
we're
right
exposed
there.
to everything.
Yeah. To piggyback what Jarvis said, in 2021, I strongly encourage people to normalize making it okay for your kids to come to you and express how they feel. Our generation, we kind of weren't made to feel like that. you know, especially from a man's standpoint. Oh, shut up, you be all right, boy. We're gonna walk it off. I do this, man.
Right.
Y'all toughen up. You be all right. You acting like a little old. So
Mhm.
you have to allow your kids to come to you and express things that are bothering them. And like Jarvis said, take it into serious consideration and don't always take it as, oh, that's just a kid being a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Like like there are some instances where it's just like, you know, typical kid stuff, but a lot of times they're coming to you because there's something seriously wrong.
Yeah.
And a lot of times as parents, we just brush it off as, oh, well, you'll just be okay. It'll just be all right. Like, no, we need to seriously take into account what our kids are going through now, because like I read the statistic earlier, like the kids now are becoming more depressed younger and younger.
Mhm.
So we really need to start listening to the kids. And Chrissy, I appreciate you, you know, sharing your story as well as we move right on that line to what she was talking about. Black Lives Matter and social injustice going on. You know what I'm saying? This year was
That's my fist.
it was your fist. I thought you were trying to hit me. It was a lot going on, from the Breonna Taylor to the George Floyd, and just not even the police brutality, just white people killing unarmed minorities. Ahmaud Arbery. I can't think of the guy's name that was killed in the Burger King parking lot. I can't think of his name right now.
When was
And then Elijah McClain.
Elijah McClain. So this year, man, it
was
really
just killed up in
Ohio.
Franklin County, Ohio.
By the police.
Yeah.
And going into his front door, right?
Going into his house.
But was the where the lady
Kay
walked into
Wood.
the house and the dude was sitting on the couch?
The police
Was that
officer.
this year?
That was last
year.
Okay, that was last year. Okay,
But she got convicted. She got minimal time though.
Yeah, well, we talked about it last year because the judge, the judge was doing her hair in court and stuff. Yeah. Okay, that was last year. Yeah, okay, that was last year. But yeah, this year has brought a lot of Black Lives Matter social injustice to the forefront. Man, go ahead.
No, I just want to say that, you know, you spoke on George Floyd, and, you know, I look at situations like that, and it's sad to say, but it's almost like a sacrifice. It's almost like George Floyd had to pass the way that he did in order for America to be
to change.
to really understand, because had he just got put in the hospital, it wouldn't have affected as many people as it did. For them to really be able to see it. But to see that 8-minute video of this grown man with his knee on another man's, you know, neck, and him crying for his mama, and to see him pass that way, it really stunned the America to the point where it was just like, dang, if he would have just, you know what I'm saying, or even the situation with, you know, Breonna Taylor, you know, in our own home state, right, had she not passed, it wouldn't have sparked the outrage that it has as far as protests.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but that's what I think. I think that it wouldn't have done as much had not the outcome. And, you know, I hate that they had to be a sacrifice for that. But, I mean.
No, I give it. It was like something need to drastically happen to jumpstart what eventually started happening, which is, you know, the social,
it was almost like a re-kick of like the civil rights, right? So it took for them back then to see Emmett Till, you know, it took for them to see like people getting hung, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It takes for something that drastic. And when you look at it, George Floyd's death, all these deaths aren't any different, right? I don't care. Like, I just don't see how, as a person, you justify, or, you know, you could see something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see it, but then still justify and say either, well, you know, he had a weed charge, or justify it and say, well, if he would have just
that's the key.
Excuse.
So if he would have just, and it's like, but go ahead, Dojo, I'll let you.
Yeah. So, I mean, the one thing I want to say just off rip. So if there is anybody that's listening and watching the show right now that is not Black or not understanding the culture, I just want y'all to know that if I say Black Lives Matter, I ain't talking about no organization. I'm talking about a Black human life.
But make sure you.
So everybody wants to hang on this Black Lives Matter organization and talk about, you know,
that.
Yeah, they use that to take away from an actual. I mean, to me, it's a distraction from an actual life.
No.
And listen, I don't even know who runs Black Lives Matter. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
But I just know when I say Black Lives Matter, I'm talking about the injustices that are happening to real black people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
On a day-to-day basis.
on a
What was some of the
day-to-day
stuff
basis.
that I
Uh,
put that in there?
what are we talking about? Let's see. Black people make up roughly 13.4% of the U.S. population, but they account for about 20% of the people killed by police during that time period.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our esteemed researcher over here.
Casey Goodson in Ohio.
Okay,
Yeah,
Casey
that's what it
Goodson.
is.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Brittany Bristow, for that. But
What was that? What did I put on there? I was like, according to CBS, from
okay.
January 1st to August 31st, we had what was it?
Let's see, right. According to CBS, from January 10th to August 31st, 2020, police have killed at least one black man or woman in 2020. Like,
Think about that.
That's just crazy.
Every week. And how many of these officers are ever held accountable? And I'm so tired. And I'm telling you, when I say tired, I am so tired of seeing these videos.
That's crazy.
When you have a white man or a white woman that's threatening the police. And not that listen, I don't want them to get killed either. That's not the point. But it's not lack of training for these police officers. It's a choice. You know, it's a choice to do what they're doing. And all they got to say is, I felt threatened.
That's it.
Well, you didn't feel threatened when that white man tried to take your gun from you and you wrestling with him on the ground and he gets up and that's it?
He wasn't threatening enough.
Y'all ain't threatening when, what's the little boy's name that just went to,
talking about what
the shot.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah,
walking around, and now he's out on a $2 million bail.
That they raise money.
Raise money? Oh, dude from Silver Spoons. Won't deal with him. The pillow dude. They don't want to put money behind him. My pillow or whatever. You know the commercial, My Pillow.
My pillow.
The older white guy, he got the infomercial, My Pillow, like special pillows. Anyway,
y'all know what pillow she talking about?
It's called My Pillow.
Yeah,
and then Ricky, what's the name of from Silver Spoons? I don't know if y'all watch that. If y'all too young or whatever.
But you got like politicians like
they're
trying to get him to speak at events and stuff.
Listen,
like, bro, that is so much.
There was one dude in Congress that made a tweet that said Democrats believe in abortion, that's murder, but then turned around and said vote Kyle Rittenhouse into Congress.
Yeah. What was that to do in Florida or
COVID.
Somewhere?
Thirsty man. Thirsty man.
But yeah, I just feel like, you know, with all the situations that's happening, right? And I always think about, when I hear it, I think about the verse Wale says in one of his songs, and he's like, he's talking about white American. He says, your devil is showing.
Mm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It is like this pulled out, so like this brought it out.
Mm-hmm.
It brought it out so much, but it really all started back when they had to join in Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm.
I think it, like, people were really like, and then I don't care what people say, like, of course racism has always been around, but I think the boldness of it got enhanced.
Trump he normalized it.
Yeah, when that man said there was good people
on both sides.
That's when they were like, oh, he got our back.
But that's the difference. He normalized being racist. These people was hidden. They wasn't bold like they are. Now you got them running whole buses out of Texas. And the cops can't even handle it.
But I'm almost torn about it too. Because I'm almost like, in one sense, I'm like, I want you to show your true colors just so I know.
Yep.
But on the other hand, I'm like, hold on, bro, y'all getting way too bold. Like
they not
like Andrew says, Trump made them feel comfortable.
Very comfortable.
But I'm like Jarvis, I would much rather you let me know where you stand so I know how to be around you, how to act around your quarter versus somebody who is another race and hey, how you doing, Quentin? And secretly down inside, like.
But the thing about it is, they still gonna be this way when you got cops, you got judges.
Well, yeah.
They can't really get out there and show their true colors like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is the way that they're able to go against the other race. Mm. I'm gonna lock your ass up for XYZ, but we letting them out because it's a mental issue.
Yeah,
man. There's got to be some separation between the legal system and the law and order. It's got to be some separation. Mm-hmm. But they so intertwined.
It's hard to separate.
It's hard to separate it. Yeah. So like partners shouldn't be judging against their partners, right? Because what's gonna happen, right?
I'm gonna vouch for you.
I'm gonna vouch for you
all day long.
Because I know in the end, whether it's some money, whether it's some publicity or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then y'all created this bond where y'all stick together. So with the blue bloods or whatever is what they call them. So
it's a code. So
and
because in the police, I mean, I don't know, but I'm just assuming they're gonna stick together, like you said. So if one person goes outside of that code, then you ostracize.
Yeah.
So now nobody in that department or that work trust you now. Because it almost puts you in the mindset of, okay, well, what are y'all doing to make you feel like y'all can't trust him because he'll tell on y'all? So what are y'all doing then? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, y'all must be up to some shit if y'all worried about, oh, this person's gonna tell on us now. So it puts it in the whole mind frame.
I said it last year and I'll say it again. And I said, white people will never have to have the same conversation with their sons that we have to have with our black sons. I mean, daughters too, not just sons, but daughters. You will never have that same conversation. You'll never have that feeling of, when my child walk out this door, just on regular, I don't know if they coming back. I don't know if they coming back. And even if it's not police brutality, when you go through things like Ahmaud Arbery, and they just ran that business, not doing nothing,
minding his own damn business.
Did y'all hear the recording on when it was on trial? Talking about the buying a Mach 45 for the coon or whatever, smoking whatever something. They said, so who's you talking to? They was like, oh, we talking about a raccoon.
Shit.
Man, I'm telling you what he said.
First of all, you about they like raccoons.
They get bold enough where they getting on the stand and
lying.
They
kind of lied.
They don't even care.
Look, kind of laughed about it, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a smirk on his face. He said, man, listen, and the question I have for anybody, if anybody's watching, that's all lives matter. Like, what makes you want to say that after someone says Black Lives, like after somebody's saying Black Lives Matter, protesting a death? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
when they say Black Lives Matter and explain why they're saying Black Lives Matter, and you still retort with, no, all lives matter. So what makes you say that after I just explained to you why I'm saying this?
Right. And like they said, all lives won't matter until Black lives matter. And at the end of the day, like we used it last year, when somebody's going around, they advocating for breast cancer. Do you hear people saying, well, what about colon cancer? What about, no.
All cancers matter.
This is what we focused on at hand, because this is the problem that we have in our society. So.
Hey, man, and I say this, man, salute to a lot of the celebrities out right now who have that platform, who have really kind of put that out there.
Steven Jackson.
Because back in the days, like, we had celebrities that, we had a few, but a lot of them were scared to lose endorsements and this and this. And, one, I'm just glad that, the way the world is going, you can monetize off so many different things. And a lot of those companies know, regardless, like, LeBron might say this. He may get 2-3 million people to hate him, but he going to have 200 million to love him.
So we going to get behind him on XYZ. And I just hate that it happened to Colin Kaepernick, where they weren't behind him all the way, and he lost what he lost. And then you got people, which shout out to LeBron, you know what I'm saying? But now there's endorsements after that. You know what I'm saying? To do what they do. And Colin stood alone.
He stood
alone and said, look, if said what I said was a person. I said what I said. That's a person. For real. We put that on the shirt. Colin Kaepernick, if I said what I said was a person. Like, hey, don't try to steal my idea. I know somebody can steal that.
But I mean, to piggyback off you, he stood alone. Like, even, and I hate to say this, even the Black community, we were scared to outwardly support what he was doing, because, like Jarvis said, at that time, I think it was 6 years ago, probably, maybe 4 years ago, the prominent Black athletes was like, I don't know, man, Nike might pull my deal, Puma might pull my deal. And I hate doing this, but LeBron James, which is probably the biggest athlete in the world right now, has made it okay for other Black athletes to come out, because they're like, oh, shit, they ain't saying nothing to him?
Right.
Well, I got something to say too. Right. And I dare y'all say something, because y'all ain't saying nothing to that. So y'all can't say nothing to me. So then
you got these owners that want to double back, though.
But the reality is they monopolizing off of our,
for sure,
of course,
off the movement too. Don't get me wrong. So now, if it had an adverse effect and LeBron came out and sales like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Then
they
it's
probably
like,
been like, all right, LeBron, you know what I'm saying? I love you, but
let's renegotiate this contract. Let's see what we got going on here.
Man, like they say, united we stand, divided we fall. And at the end of the day, if we was to all stand together and come together like we have, even for these votes and everything that we do, we can see the difference that we can make.
Oh, man, but that's the thing though, is getting not everybody, but enough people to realize that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the problem, because then you start to get people with their own agendas, and people want to. It's like we don't have right now, and maybe y'all might know this better than me, especially Jarvis, you might know. We don't have what they call the head of the snake, right? Somebody who can talk for a large portion of us that makes sense for us.
I'm gonna tell you who we got, but some people will shut them out. Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Farrakhan, you know what I'm saying, really, you know, he speaks really for the people. A lot of people have cut Farrakhan off, you know, either one just because of, you know, the religion. And then one, I mean, man, it's a reason. Like when they try to silence somebody, it's for a reason.
It's for a reason, yeah.
Right. So,
well, I mean, what y'all think about Sean King?
See, like I was a little torn on Sean King. At first, I thought, I was like, you know, I never questioned his race, but I always, because some of his earlier works, if somebody, you know, if they had hired a lawyer and someone got off, if you go back, he would say like, yeah, I did this. And I'm like, I like, hold on. Like you asked for support from people. And then I started seeing like, he was like, guys, we did this together. Now I'm like, okay.
But Jarvis, that's growth.
It is.
We evolved. We learned, just like us learning in the podcast. There's things that we didn't understand that now we.
Yeah.
So, but just as a person, I may not always agree with everything that he says.
I'm gonna get to that in a minute.
But who, me?
No, that long comment.
I may not always agree with everything he says, but what I do know is he is all about educating. Yeah. I've learned so much from listening to his breakdowns and his podcast, where I'm just like, wow, because we don't get taught those things in school. You know, we and unless you go or you have somebody around you or your family's really about, you know what I'm saying, Black education, we just don't know, because their history wasn't always our history.
Yeah.
You know, so I really do agree with how he breaks it down to people. It's not just telling you stuff. He gives you the whole breakdown so that you then can understand if you want change. So I know a lot of people don't always agree with what he says, but if he educates.
Yeah.
Let's put this up. This is from Rachel Crawford. She says, I'm from Eastern Kentucky. I've been preaching on this for months. You go to small mountain towns where they never leave. They don't see Black people. They don't see the injustice. It's just movies. It doesn't exist around them. That's what's being said. That's when people all they can do. I've tried until I was accused of race baiting. It's try to make them understand if they choose not to open their eyes, just pray for them. And for people, I know y'all can't really see on there, but Rachel Crawford is a white lady. She followed it up, says, I hope I worded that right. I'm not defending them, but I had to sit back and try to understand how and why it was such a hard concept to grasp.
No, I mean, that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, that's a fair assessment. I mean, it is 2020 though. Like you would think that people would get out, but then again, in those areas,
they don't
have access to be able to get out.
They cannot be able to have that. And think about it. Most people that are in their religions, right? And I say this, are in that because that's what they've been raised up in, and that's what they've been. No, I believe in this person. You know, not person, but you know what I'm saying. I believe in this God or whatever. That's because that's what they grew up. So some of these people that are in these areas, even with KKK, if they've been taught to hate Black people from the time they was born, that's all they know. I'm not saying that that's an excuse. I'm just telling you that that's all that they know. They've been ignorant until they're exposed to something different. It's like we coming to tell them like, no, we okay. Well, you talking about me that I'm 28 years old and my daddy didn't taught me that y'all this, that, and the third. May have only showed them the negative things. This Black person to do this to you, that person. Yeah, as you get older, it's your responsibility to educate yourself. But again, like I said, at the age of 41, there's still things that I'm learning, you know, about life that I wasn't educated on. And most people be like some people might look at me like, how did you not know who Ruth Ginsburg was? I didn't know. I wasn't educated on it.
But what'd you do after you found out?
Research and educate. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you have to make the choice to do it. So it is a choice. You know, hating is not right. You know, it's not the proper thing to do. But just saying, like, sometimes we don't really understand what they've endured as far as, and this is no excuse for racism. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it. I'm just saying she's right in certain areas. Some of these people, I went to school with this girl at EKU. She said she had never seen a black person a day in her life until she got to Richmond, ever.
Yeah.
Just on TV, never in person.
That's great. That's wild.
Never in person.
Can I touch it?
Can I touch it? I ain't
Nah,
never
but
been
that's,
around
I
women
mean,
before.
yeah, that's real, man. And like, and not just saluting the celebrities and everything too, man. Salute some of our local, activists, people who's doing their thing. I know also Audra Pinky, who has the show. She did a lot of things in her hometown of Ashland. So salute to her.
Marches
She did. Yeah, and she co-founded. I believe. Audra, don't kill me, but I believe it's Ashland for Change.
I think that's what it is.
Ashland for Change. And I want to say she co-founded it. Don't be mad at me if I understated or overstated that. But that was a major movement, especially in Ashland, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Being that they were down there marching and fighting for inequality and injustice. They may have even had Charles Booker may have even came down there, I think, maybe, or something like that. I mean, of course, he was running, so he was trying to touch it all the little small towns too. But shout out to Charles Booker too, because
yes, for sure,
that was one of to see a politician at that time, and why for the life of me he didn't beat out Amy McGrath. I mean, like, I get it, he came on a little late.
Came on strong, too strong, too late.
Yeah, but hopefully he runs for something again, because I love the brothers, what he stands for and everything.
I was wishing that just Lexington and Louisville could be their own state. We
Yeah.
ain't with the rest of Kentucky.
We ain't with the rest
of Kentucky.
Get your boy.
We ain't with the rest of Kentucky.
No.
But speaking on him, this is why it's important, doubling back on the things that we do as far as why it's important to vote, because most people didn't realize why it's important to vote for your district attorneys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your attorney generals. Because when you got people in there like Daniel Cameron,
go ahead, talk on it.
just because he's black, and that's what people are missing. And I listened to Sean talk about this the other day. We get so stuck on let's just vote in the black people. No, we need to vote in the right people. Yeah, we want people that represent us, but just what they say, all skin folk ain't kin folk.
Yeah.
Like, for real, he couldn't be the furthest from a black person than anybody else that I know.
Man, that man trying so hard to get right next to Senator McConnell, you know what I'm saying, who ain't worth
two dead flies, man.
I mean, and that's my opinion, guys. Y'all take it how y'all want, but that's my opinion.
That's our opinion.
That's our
For all of us.
So
that's our opinion.
But yeah, that guy right there, man, just the sneaky stuff he did behind that trial, and just how,
oh my gosh,
like bro, you can jump on a lawsuit against Governor Brashear or in Pennsylvania and try to get results immediately, but then you drag this out for 6 months, like putting that type of stress and strain on that family. And then what you actually did, you try to console the family first, and then came on TV and lied, and now the jurors are calling you out.
Yeah.
But the reality is with us being primarily a Republican state, he's probably going to get reelected if he were to run, for some, office here or whatnot. But hopefully, what would end up happening is, and it's just my hope, our hope.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that, black people see what he did then, and if he does try to run for another position, we out.
Yeah. And it won't just be black people.
Yeah, you're right.
Anybody else that knows that we
salute to the allies.
Yeah.
During the protest, because
for sure.
They came out in droves with us.
Yes.
Right there, lock and step with us.
I don't care what nobody say, and I say this from slavery on. Yeah, we do a lot of our own, but how can I word this when I send it the wrong way?
Well, I gonna say nothing.
We did not do it by ourselves.
We didn't get things accomplished until we got the white
people
to get
on our side. We would not have been able to have the Underground Railroad without white people.
Because
you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to. I feel like I'm wording that wrong, but you can't discredit. You cannot discredit how we got to where we were with certain situations and issues. So even with this, having other races, not just white people, but other races back us has helped us to flip and to get things differently and get laws passed and things done that we probably normally wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah.
To piggyback, it's because if it's just us speaking as Black people,
where we only make up 13% of the population,
they're gonna say, just give them time, they'll calm down.
Yeah,
they'll just wait it out.
Mm-hmm.
But then when, like Jarvis said, we have our allies that got our backs.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're opening and getting behind certain doors we can't get behind. So now our voice is a little louder because
they're opening doors
you have a constituent of yours telling you, hey, no, you need to listen to these people over here.
Yep.
Like they such and such. So now it's a domino effect. So you might not listen to me as if I'm speaking for, a white person or whatever, but he might hear me.
Yeah.
So after the meeting is over, hey, so what was you saying about?
Mm-hmm.
So now we got a conversation going on about what Black people are protesting about. So that helps affect and gets a lot of things changed because they can get in certain rooms and get behind certain doors that
we can't.
We really can't. And that's where this last election, not even on a presidential level, but a local level, is so important to vote in the right people because they can affect you more so than Biden and Trump can.
Yeah.
Because the things that they're trying to inflict and enforce are going to be things that affect your daily life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Trump or President-elect Biden is going to come out with a bill that's going to affect everybody, nationally. But the people that you elect in your state are going to, get laws or elect sheriffs and, you know what I'm saying, put people in place that is going to affect your daily life because you elect a sheriff. Well, that sheriff might be racist. So now what? We stuck for the past 2 years with a racist sheriff. You see what I'm saying?
Well, that's why this runoff that's coming up in January in Georgia is so important because if we win Senate, hey, ditch Mitch.
Ditch Mitch.
You know what I'm saying? Like
ditch
that
Mitch.
Is so that like that's huge.
Yeah.
That is huge.
It is.
So that's why they trying to do voter fraud and have people go register in Georgia because they really trying to win this race by any means necessary.
Any means they trying to use our stuff.
Yeah.
by any means necessary.
By any means necessary. And I'm gonna say this before we get off this subject is I read something one time and it made so much sense. They were saying that sometimes you have white people that don't really understand it because they don't have to. Because for a white person to be successful, there's some of them they ain't never got to touch a Black person. They ain't never got to interact with a Black person to get there. But we as Black people, you are not getting all the way to the top without having to interact with somebody white. That's the difference.
With somebody outside your race.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the difference with it. They don't have to deal with us. They don't got to know what's going on down here with us or over in this area for them to get to where they need to be. Ours is the opposite.
Because it goes back to the door opening thing.
Yeah.
They can open a door for us where there's not a Black person in charge or a Black person that has some kind of authority in that room to let us in. We're going to have to get with somebody outside our race that, regardless of whatever it is that you're doing, that's going to be like, okay, I like what you're doing. Let me introduce you to these people. Yeah. Or let me take you to this party so you can meet this person, or they'll set you up. Look, this is the person who you need to talk to. Tell them that you know me, such and such. And it's hard for Black people because we can only get so far with our talent.
If we could just understand though, man, like Nipsey said, man, like our culture is so contagious. Like if we could just understand it, like, and other people have said it, like, man, we are like everybody's monetizing off of our culture. Like our culture is, you know what I'm saying? Everyone, everyone listens to hip hop music. Everyone watches sports, and aside from soccer, being a big time national, worldwide sport. But outside of that, basketball, football, and that's why, like, I wish some more athletes would understand, especially in the NFL. Like they were so like. The NFL set such an example with Colin Kaepernick that it got the majority of them afraid to speak, but it was different in the NBA.
Oh yeah.
In the NBA, shout out WNBA too, because WNBA was
on the forefront before the NBA was.
So, but that's all we got to realize and then create our own. And that's why, another person, and I'm pretty sure other athletes and other people are doing it, and people here, locally that we know, but creating something of creating something of our own, and then like someone like LeBron putting us back on, right?
sure.
So he's got the school for the kids in Akron. The way he, I mean, if anybody wants to see a perfect
model,
like that,
that's
like
it.
he put all his peoples on, all his
Man,
friends,
listen,
like
same girl from
high
high
school.
school, kids.
All about the same movie.
Listen, they attack Bron every way that they can, but
off
heard
the
a
court,
story.
now dude's perfect, pretty much.
Man, I heard a story about LeBron where they said he's got it set up so good where he's like, "No, I don't need no distraction." They said they would be at a club and they in VIP, and they said when groupies would try to come and get to LeBron, his partners would step in and be like, "Nah, away, get away," because they don't want nothing. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
No scandal, no pop-ups,
Come on, man.
none
That's
of that.
when you really look like.
Man, I know it.
Come
know
on.
it. Like,
when you got groups like that, or even take it back to Chadwick Boseman.
mhm.
People, your circle is so tight.
Nobody knew
Knew nothing. They
Nothing.
respected what he did,
Yeah,
and nobody knew that even his cast members
Didn't
didn't
even
know
yeah.
what he was going through. That's the type of circle I need.
Man, listen.
You know what I'm
lips
saying?
ain't ships.
Man, and for people to sit there and like, I mean, man, it was. I mean, and I'm not even gonna sit here in front.
Mhm.
When I seen that one picture of him, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
see. Yeah,
people
okay.
did.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what's
yeah.
bro on?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
a part of me, I'm like, just in the back of my head, I'm like, man, that's Black Panther. Like, he ain't on no drugs.
Or people thought he was doing it for as a movie role.
Yeah, but
Or whatever.
because and when I saw that picture, I thought immediately of that movie. A lot of people haven't seen it. It's kind of like 50 Cent.
Mhm.
And I was like, I was like, damn. And I was like, nah, he couldn't be doing no drugs. He's got to be doing it for a movie. So I thought of that 50 movie, and I was like, okay. But then to see that, like,
I think that's what hit, because nobody knew. I think it's what
Yeah.
hurt so much. It just hit hard because nobody knew what he was battling. And on top of that, he made 7 movies while he was doing chemo.
Yeah.
You talking about somebody that's phenomenal. He didn't want any sympathy.
No.
You know what I mean? That's not what he wanted. He wanted to make great movies, and that's what he did, man. And
I know it, man. It's two things. First one is selfishly, I wish he was still here because he had so much more work to
Yeah.
do,
Man,
man.
yeah.
And just with the work that he put the Jackie Robinson story, the James Brown Get Up on it,
Mhm.
of course Black Panther. I don't know if y'all seen 21 Bridges. That's good as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
He played
Avengers.
Thurgood Marshall as well.
Oh, and the Five Bloods. That was a good movie.
I think dude's put out pretty much a dope project.
There's
every
another
time
movie
he-
coming out that they haven't
At
released.
least, yep, that he's
It's
in
gonna be coming
as
out.
well.
Based on a true story, I think.
So like selfishly, I'm like, damn, man, I wanted to see Buddy. Buddy was on his way to me being the next Denzel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like he was on
for
that
sure.
career path. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I tell you who I think is like really, really getting there, and not to. But I think, man, the more and more we watch that brother from the movie I posted the other day, American Skin.
Oh, yeah.
Nate,
He did
yeah.
that.
For
he's
sure.
so cold blooded, man.
Yeah.
I
To
forgot.
me,
What's that slave movie?
The
he
slave
did?
movie, yeah. Nat King Turner.
Yeah, that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Nat
I
King.
don't know who Nat King Turner is, but
I mean, Nat Turner.
I don't know. That must be a new guy.
Nat Turner.
It's a new actor. Better look out for Nat King Turner, y'all. But yeah, that slavery movie that one comes to mind. But back to what you said about LeBron is that he when he first came to the league, he had an agent or whatever.
Mhm.
He paid for his homeboys to go to school
Yeah.
Yes.
to learn the business.
Mhm.
So therefore, when they got done, he could put them on, and now everybody's is successful in their own right to where they ain't got to depend on LeBron. They got their own business ventures. So one of them is his agent, the other one is like his financial advisor, and he trusts every single one of them to do what's in his best interest. Like nobody talks to LeBron unless they talk to him. His people first, and like that shit is just like so dope and on another level. And it's gotten to the point where Rich Paul, who is his agent, owns Clutch Sports. Well, Rich Paul has gotten so many high-profile NBA athletes
Mhm.
that now other agents are speaking. White agents are speaking about Rich Paul, like, oh, what he's doing ain't right. What he's doing ain't fair. And
How?
that's what I'm
How,
saying.
Sway?
He's playing the same game everybody else is
What y'all
playing,
been doing?
but because he got LeBron, AD, Ben Simmons, Tristan Thompson. You got like a lot of top tier NBA players.
It's never fair when the tables turn.
And then,
Then
they got a
my
problem.
people told me there ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
So now this, he's forcing these players out of trades and woo. It's like, nah, bro, he's doing the same thing y'all been doing for decades in sports agency, y'all. And they even try to change the criteria of what you need to be a sports agent.
Yeah.
And they was like, nah, we got all our certification, we got all our paperwork. He's been to school, he did this, that, and that. So it's like they try to, as soon as he established himself, they moved the line.
Look, they changed the laws and the rules to adjust them to fit them and their agenda.
Yeah.
So
sound like the government to me.
So it's the same thing.
Sound like what they did with weed.
But we don't know what they're doing next. But anyway, man, we appreciate everybody for kicking it with us, hanging with us for the time being. Hope you had a little wine, got your little alcohol, got your little sip. If you smoke some. If you eat something, eat an edible, do all that. But you can catch us every single week. We will start doing podcasts as well. Thursdays, I'm assuming.
Thursdays.
Okay. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Today was a little late, but you know how black folks is. We went off.
Listen,
we gonna do better.
We on our way. All three of us next week is gonna do the body yachty challenge.
We are.
We talked about this.
Hold on, the Meg.
Meg Thee Stallion, yeah.
Body
yachty. You ain't doing that, Jarvis?
I ain't doing that. I'm comfortable with myself, but
So Jarvis is gonna do it first next week.
We're doing it all together.
We need everybody to continue to like, share this show as well. We want to continue to grow this thing. You can also check out previous shows and podcasts that we've done on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Store, wherever you listen to podcasts and stream podcasts. You can look at that on there. Yeah.
And if you have any ideas, man, listen. If you guys have any ideas, please shoot them to our page. We'd love to discuss anything that we do. And we're about to do. I don't know what Jarvis is gonna be. We're gonna have talks with Tina.
Yeah.
So talks with Tina.
We gotta get you something.
Yeah, we gotta get you something too. We're gonna have talks with Tina at the beginning of the show. So I'm gonna have anybody, you can email me and I'll give you guys my information, questions or anything that you may want to talk about.
Whatever.
And we gonna
advice, please. We should have, man.
Right.
Y'all also gonna be able to call in here in a little bit, so we can do that. But take phone calls. So
the 5 year. Can y'all discuss?
Okay. Hey, that was already.
That
you want to talk to us?
Okay. We'll touch on it because they reached out to me.
Okay. They did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll touch on it.
I didn't know if you wanted to save it for next week or.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, next week we got a caller who wanted us to, somebody who wanted to address a situation that they were a part of, and what that is they were in a relationship. I ain't gonna give it all away, but they were in a relationship for 5 years with a certain individual. This individual up and left his family to be with another woman he just met. So make sure you tune into next week where Tina will address that. You know what I'm saying, and everything going on with that situation. And like Jarvis was saying earlier. Next week, hopefully, we will have everything set up to where people can actually call in to the show. But in the meantime, between time, if you got something you want us to discuss, like Tina said, hit her inbox up.
I'm back on Facebook. I was on hiatus, but I'm back now. Follow your girl.
But yeah, man. So anytime you want us to discuss a subject, a topic, or something that you're going through, you want some advice from us or the people in the Facebook world community, please shoot an email to Team He Said, She Said, or inbox the Facebook page, and we will discuss and talk about what you want us to discuss. We'll leave your name out of it. But
or if y'all got any advice on how y'all want these guys to dress,
what is wrong
with that in there?
What is wrong with the way Jarvis is dressed? I got on something.
I grew up off this. It's culture.
It's for the culture.
What? The Sampsons, not the Simpsons.
Yeah, we grew up on this.
The Sampsons.
You know
the black ones.
Yeah. And I used to get the Burger King dog, the little.
Shoot, what's wrong with what we got on, man? Good. But I even got a fresh haircut for this. But anyways, we get ready to get on up out of here. Jarvis, want to say something to people we out here?
Nah, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Like Q and Chrissy said, like, share, do all that good stuff. Subscribe
to the YouTube channel. Yeah.
Let somebody who could be affected or touched by this show. Let them hear it. Tag them in the comments. Do whatever. We love to keep the conversations flowing. So
your girl Chrissy J, love it how you live it how you love it or leave it alone.
Damn, it's been that long. You stumbled over that. You used to
woo. It's been a while.
Live it how you love it or leave it alone. Live it how you love it or leave it alone.
Well, yeah, we get right out here, from Kentucky's best podcast, favorite podcast. No, you cannot sit your ass. What are you doing?
What? I just trying to show my Please.
But anyways, you get on
What?
out here. We want you to treat somebody how you want somebody to treat your mama. We out of here.
Peace.